Inclusion is not simply just including a person once in a group project or at your lunch table. Inclusion is including that same person every day in every class you have with them. So hi, my name is Emily for those of you who don't know, and my senior project is on inclusion with students with special needs. Could you ever imagine going through high school or even your everyday life with no close friends? I know I couldn't because I relied on my friends a lot. It is extremely difficult for students with special needs to form close relationships because they don't have common interests with kids their own age, and they usually don't have the time to form these close bonds. Depending on the disability, a student can spend up to 50% or more of their time during the school day completely separated in their own classroom. A majority of students are included by doing school jobs or saying hi in the hallway, but that's not real inclusion. Here at Bow, we don't see it as such a big deal, and some people may think it's because our special education department is so small. But when you go out to other schools like Concord High School, their special education department is huge compared to ours. So through my research, I learned the 7 most dangerous words anybody can say in the special education department is they won't get anything out of it. Because how do you know if you don't try? So for my project, I worked with a freshman during his summer program. His name is Liam. He is a wicked sweet kid and has the funniest laugh ever. I was lucky enough to be able to go on field trips with him and 2 other students every Tuesday. We went bowling in that, which you can see in that picture right there, and yes, all 3 of them kicked my butt. When we went to bowling, we went to a park after where we got to eat lunch, kick a ball around, and just have some fun. The next field trip we went on was we went to the Audubon and to Beach Hill Farm, where you could definitely see Liam's love for animals, and so that definitely was a neat experience to see how much he loves all different kinds of animals. He loved the donkey at Beach Hill Farm, which he got to pet, and every morning after snack we played Go Fish, Garbage, or a whole bunch of different games, and yes, again, they usually kicked my butt every time. So that's us just being a little silly. We went to Chuckster's where we played mini golf, drove go-karts, jumped around, and as you can see by the pictures, we got a little wet because it was very hot that day that we went. Seeing Liam outside of school gave me an experience because I had never met him before. I started working with him, and so I just got to see him being himself. I didn't have to see him where he was only stuck in school doing schoolwork. I got to see him out in the community where he could have fun. And anytime we went out, he just about always had a smile on his face, and his laugh could put a smile on anybody's face, no matter how bad your day was going. He loved to celebrate his achievements, so in mini golf, that's a picture of him celebrating him getting the ball in the hole. And anytime when we were at school working too, he would celebrate any achievement he had. So also my community connection, I got to see him in school as well. So I was able to observe his speech therapy sessions and occupational therapy sessions, or OT. And that was pretty interesting because his speech and OT person, they explained everything to me. So I got to actually learn how each thing benefits him specifically and how it's different for every person. So when he went to OT in the morning, he would sometimes be really, really tired, and she would get him up and moving around and try to throw off his balance, because if you throw off somebody's balance, it wakes them up more. And then she would sit him down and have him do some more work sitting down. And then a lot of people think of speech therapy as forming sentences and just learning how to form more complex sentences, and it wasn't, because when he did his group session, we would play a game where we would have to encourage each other or ask each other questions. And so during his individual sessions, he did things like sorting or matching clothes to specific weather. So it wasn't all just about him forming the sentences, it was all to help him learn better. So the main difference from the first day to the last day, I think, was Liam just warming up to me. On the first day, we had never met one another. We he didn't know who I was, I didn't really know him as a true person, and at the end of it, he was asking me questions. He knew my name, he would say my name and all that, so that was like definitely pretty cool to be able to realize like how much he warmed up to me. So I truly learned how passionate I am about inclusion during this project. So inclusion came into my life roughly 4.5 years ago when my brother Keith, who many of you know, came into my life. When Keith came, I was a little skeptical at first, wasn't sure how to kind of react because I had never had that experience before, but after a while me and him really bonded really well, and then I truly learned how people in the society see him. So people outside of school don't look at him differently than they look at everybody else because he's different. So I just thought that was like our so quote-unquote acceptable society where we're supposed to be accepting of anybody isn't accepting of anybody that they were born with a disability that they can't control. So also through this project I was a little scared at first because I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if Liam was going to have a good day, a bad day. It could have been in between. So luckily he had a lot of good days and didn't mind me being there. But if he did minded me being there, then I would have had to come up with a backup plan, but luckily I didn't have to. So if you guys take one thing away from my presentation, let it be this. I know a majority of you are just like me, who has that one group of really, really close friends. I do too, and I know I rely on that one group a lot. But next time you have a group project or group activity, don't be afraid to include somebody new. You never know how that including that one person can help. So a couple thank yous I have. I owe a huge thank you to Jessica Weeks, or as Liam calls her, Weeks, who is Liam's aide, because without her I wouldn't have been able to do this project. She was okay with me being there every Tuesday and Wednesday and one Thursday, and there were even 2 days where I told her I more than likely wasn't going to be there, and she was okay with me coming anyway. And I also told her that if there's ever a time that she didn't want me there, all she had to do was let me know, and she never asked me to leave or told me that I couldn't be there. So Miss Brown, I owe a thank you to because she helped me communicate with Liam's parents, with Emily's mom, who you guys saw Emily in some of the pictures, to get that permission to be able to do it. And then Liam's parents are really who made my project possible, because if they had said no to me being with him over the summer, using his name, using any pictures, then I wouldn't have been able to do it. And then Emily's mom gave me permission to use the pictures that she was in and to use her name and everything. And then a huge thank you goes to my mentor, Miss Chafee, who kept me on track and was always there for me no matter what, and she helped me through a majority of my project, helped me through it, and gave up some of her summertime to meet with me. We met twice this summer, so that was pretty good, and we were able to talk a lot throughout the week. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Emily, if you could do anything differently, what would you do?
I don't really know if I would do anything differently. I had a wonderful senior project experience where I was nervous at first about my community connection, and obviously I'm terrified about this today. I don't public speak, but I don't think I would do anything else differently because I had such an amazing experience and was able to learn so much through it.
Is special education something you want to pursue?
I'm going to nursing. So that's what I want to do, is healthcare and helping people. But it's definitely something that's always going to be a part of my life because I have an autistic brother, so he'll always be a part of my life. So he'll definitely always be